Ever wonder why you might never use saffron again? Spoiler, it's not because it's hiding from your cooking. Today we're diving deep in the world of saffron, the spice that makes your dishes look like they've been kissed by King Midas himself. We'll explore why this luxurious spice is on the brink of disappearing and what might save it from vanishing completely. Stick around to discover the shocking reasons behind saffron's scarcity and the innovative techniques that might just keep this golden gem on your plate. You won't want to miss the spicy secret we're uncovering. The luxury and challenges of saffron. Saffron has always been the epitome of luxury in the culinary world. I mean, even saying the word saffron makes you feel like you should be sipping champagne and eating caviar. But behind its glamorous facade lies a complex and precarious reality. Saffron is the world's most expensive spice, often surpassing even likes of vanilla and truffles. At its peak, saffron can fetch prices upward of $5,000 per kilogram. Yes, you heard that right, more expensive than gold. But what makes saffron so outrageously expensive? Is it sprinkled with unicorn dust? Unfortunately, no. The reason lies in the tiny crimson threads of the Crocus sativus flower, also known as saffron crocus. Each flower produces just 3 tiny stigmas, which are hand-harvested with the delicacy of brain surgery. It takes around 150,000 flowers to produce just 1 kilogram of saffron. That's right, each gram of this spice is the product of back-breaking labor and meticulous attention to detail. The laborious process and environmental challenges. Let's dive into this laborious process. Imagine planting each corm, the bulb-like part of the plant, in the late summer, meticulously spacing them out and ensuring they're at just the right depth, 7 to 15 centimeter deep and 10 to 20 centimeter apart. Too shallow and they might dry out, too deep and they might not grow. They're incredibly finicky, requiring well-drained soil, moderate temperature, and just the right amount of sunlight to thrive. If you think you can just sprinkle some saffron seed in your backyard garden, think again. They're not your average daisies. The real challenge comes in the fall, when the saffron crocuses bloom. The window for harvesting is incredibly narrow, just a few weeks. And during the brief period, the flowers must be picked at dawn, while they're still closed to protect the delicate stigma inside. It's a race against time, akin to a high-stakes culinary game show, where every second counts. Each flower's 3 tiny stigmas must be carefully plucked by hand, a task that demands precision and patience. It's not just about picking flowers, it's about handling them as if they're precious jewel, because essentially, they are. But wait, there's more. After harvesting, the stigmas need to be dried quickly to prevent spoilage. This drying process is another crucial step, requiring careful control of temperature and humidity to preserve the saffron's vibrant color and unique flavors. Too much heat and the saffron loses its quality. Too little and it can't spoil. It's like drying out a wet book. You need to get it just right to keep it usable. Climate change and human impact. Now add the unpredictable elements to climate change to this already challenging scenario. Traditional saffron growing regions like Iran, Greece, and Kashmir are facing new hardships. Unpredictable weather pattern, from drought to sudden floods, can wipe out entire crops in an instant. Imagine investing an entire year nurturing these plants only to have a freak storm ruin your harvest. It's like spending all day preparing a gourmet meal, only for your dog to devour it before you can even take a bite. Heartbreaking, right? But it doesn't stop there. Saffron plants are also valuable to pests and diseases. Rodents, birds, and various insects love these tasty plants as much as we do. On top of that, fungal diseases can spread quickly, devastating entire fields. Synthetic saffron and alternatives. So with all these challenges, it's no wonder saffron prices fluctuate wildly. It's a high-risk, high-reward game that's becoming increasingly unstable. Can you see why saffron might be more trouble than it's worth? With so much at stake, companies and consumers alike are looking for alternatives. Enter synthetic saffron, an artificial substance that's easier on the wallet and the nerves. But is it really a viable replacement? Let's know. And hey, if you're loving this flavorful journey into the world of saffron, why not spice up your life a little more by subscribing to our channel, Beyond the Form. We promise no artificial ingredients, just pure, unadulterated content that won't break the bank. Saffron prices and synthetic alternatives. During the 2020 pandemic, saffron prices nosedived by nearly 50%. With restaurants closed and people staying home, the demand for this gourmet spice took a hit. You'd think home cooking would boost saffron sales, but no, home chefs opted for the cheaper and artificial flavors instead. Why spend $30 on a gram of saffron when you can get a bottle of artificial saffron flavor for less than $5? But here's the kicker. Artificial saffron lacks the depth and complexity of the real deal. It's like comparing a plastic tiara to crown jewels. Sure, they might look similar from a distance, but one is a priceless artifact and the other is a cheap knockoff. Real saffron contains unique compounds like crocin, picrocrocin, and saffronol that give it its distinctive color, taste, and aroma. These compounds are incredibly difficult to replicate synthetically. And let's not forget the culture and historical significance of saffron. This spice has been revered for thousands of years, used in everything from culinary dishes to religious ceremonies. Replacing it with a synthetic version feels like a losing piece of heritage. The future of saffron. So what's the future of saffron? Some experts suggest we need to look beyond traditional cultivation methods. Yep, we're talking about high-tech solutions for an age-old problem. Imagine growing saffron without soil. Sounds like a sci-fi, right? But it's happening. In hydroponic systems, plants are growing in nutrient-rich water, allowing for precise control over growth conditions. This means saffron can be cultivated in environments previously thought impossible. Another solution is mutation breeding. Sounds a bit like something out of superhero comic, right? Essentially, scientists expose saffron plants to radiation or chemicals to create new, hardier varieties. These mutant plants are then tested to see if they can better withstand extreme weather conditions or resist diseases. It's like sending saffron to a genetic boot camp, training it to be tougher and more resilient. Then there's climate control farming. Think of it as giving saffron the 5-star treatment it deserves. Using advanced technologies, scientists can create perfect growing conditions year-round, regardless of the actual weather outside. These high-tech greenhouses are equipped with sensors and automated systems to regulate temperatures, humidity, and light. It's like building a perfect little saffron paradise where every day is the ideal spring morning. In Kashmir, scientists are already experimenting with these techniques, including developing hardier crocus varieties that can survive the region's extremely erratic weather. These new breeds are being tested for their ability to withstand frost, drought, and heavy rain. It's like building a superhero team of saffron plants, each with its own special power to combat the threats of the climate change. While these efforts are promising, they're not a silver bullet. Cultivating saffron will always be labor-intensive and delicate, but these innovations offer a ray of hope. But let's be real, these advancements won't come without challenges. Implementing hydroponic systems, mutation breeding, and climate control farm on a large scale requires significant investment and expertise. Moreover, there's the question of consumers' acceptance. Will people embrace saffron growth in a lab or a greenhouse as readily as they do to the traditionally cultivated spice? Food purists might turn up their noses, but for the majority, the proof will be the pudding, or rather, the biryani. If the quality is high and the price reasonable, these innovative techniques could revolutionize the saffron industry. Meanwhile, others are exploring alternative sources of similar flavors and colors. One surprising candidate is bee brew. Yes, bee larvae. It might sound bizarre, but bee brood has a nutty, slightly sweet flavor that some chefs believe could mimic saffron in certain dishes. This is still in the experimental stages, but who knows? Maybe the future of saffron rice lies in the hands of our buzzing friends. This isn't the first time people have sought substitutes for saffron. There's an old urban legend about marigold petals being used as a saffron substitute. Back in the early 1900s, people discovered marigold extract, a yellow-orange pigment used as a food additive. While mimicking saffron's color and some of its flavor, it wasn't quite the same. The problem wasn't just the source, but lack of flavor complexity. Today, there's even a movement to ban marigold extract, not because it's gross, but because it's failed to meet the saffron's culinary standards. So if you're worried about how much marigold extract is sneaking into your food, relax. Usage is minimal. As of 2020, only 300 pounds of it were consumed annually, a tiny fraction of the saffron market. Picture this, if a 5000 by 5000 pixel square represents any annual saffron consumption, only one single pixel would be the marigold extract. Synthetic saffron and the future. It looks like we have two potential paths. Companies might continue pushing synthetic saffron to save costs, or they might stick to the natural road to boast the covered all-natural labels, making your grocery bill high. Let's break it down. As consumers, we have the power to influence this choice. If we prioritize quality over authenticity, companies will follow suit. If we're more budget conscious, synthetic saffron will dominate the market. It's a delicate balance, and the future of this luxurious spice is in our hands. And with that, we wrap up our spicy journey into the world of saffron. Whether you're team synthetic or team natural, let's appreciate that we don't have to resort to bizarre alternatives to enjoy the luxurious spice. No need to start harvesting marigold or worse, resorting to some beaver bud concoction. We've got options, and that's something to celebrate. If you enjoy this deep dive into the world of saffron, don't forget to share this video with your friends and leave a comment below. What's your take on the great saffron debate? Synthetic or natural? Let us know.